Okay, hello, welcome to this April mental health video, health update, obviously. Let's, leaving off where we start off in March. A year older, but still dealing with um, the depression and all this other stuff going on around me. It's pretty damn depressing living here, as I said in the other video, and, just being reminded of what's going on every single day. Um, all around me in this town is just getting to me. Where do I start? Well, yesterday I read to you an article that pretty much confirmed a lot of what I've been talking about the past many years on this channel. Even though I said I wasn't going to, it turned out a lot harder to be when I said a couple of months ago that I wouldn't talk about these things. It turned out a lot harder than I thought. And I'm still doing less of it, but uh, I can't, you know, I have to devote at least 10% of the content I make toward these things, these issues, whether it be, the transportation, whether it be the discrimination, whether it be, you know, the depressing area I live in. Um, it has to be, I have to keep talking about it. And, right off the bat, I just want to say I'm glad that YouTube did the right thing and restored my colleagues Andy's randomness channel. Of course, the trolls are taking full advantage of it. They support this kind of stuff, and it's disgusting. It really is the way people are. Um, it was horrible what happened to my colleague, and I'm glad that he got his channel back. And we have to be very vigilant about you know what we do on the computer. All right, anything that's suspicious, anything that you're not expecting in the email, and you just delete it. Delete it. Don't look at it. Don't click any links. Just delete it. This is what I do with about 98% of my emails. All right, I just delete them. So, getting back to my mental health, living here, it continues just to get very depressing here. All right, no life. And then I read the article last night and made the video about the fact that all the millennials, that's the age group that's a little younger than me, um, they all want to be on the South Shore. Um, all the places that I wanted to try to live in, past, looking at either in the past when I was trying to move out of Westbury, or now that I'm trying to move out of Mineola, um, they're all very coveted areas now. And the article pretty much explained everything. Very coveted, very desirable, um, and it's going to be very hard to get into those areas, all right? Because again, the South Shore is the designated area of civilization in on Long Island, particularly in Nassau County, right? The central Nassau area is just viewed as a wasteland, I guess. Newsday, real estate, they're all in on that stuff. They're all in on it. You know, they're all in on it, and it's only going to get worse from here, especially that we don't have any changes with the crime, uh, the criminal, policies. No attempts at, you know, fixing the New York's disastrous bail reform law. None of that. None of that. And I continue to deal with an agency, even when I'm trying to move, that doesn't even respond to. I contacted them a week ago. Now I have to call the Department of the Office of Mental Health, the OMH, because they're not responding. There have been tremendous cutbacks and problems in New York State's mental health system, and it doesn't really get a whole lot of press. But it's really bad, and I'm gathering what's going on is um, what you just saw in that little graphic there is that they can't find workers. because nobody can afford to live here anymore. All right, so many middle class people are just leaving New York. They can't afford to be here, and a lot of the people who work in mental health aren't paid very well, so they can't afford to live here, and the state isn't really aiding anything in the budget, so these people can't afford to live here. So there are no workers, and the situation is really bad all across the whole mental health system in New York State. Right? It's a crisis. The governor doesn't care. The media doesn't care. Nobody cares. It's just like the Pine Barrens. Nobody cares. I read a thing in Reddit. The Long Island Reddit is a bunch of full of hypocrites. All right, because they're also in love with the South Shore. Look at everything that they post. It's all South Shore stuff. They just all they care about is the South Shore. They'll go to the South Shore. Everybody wants to be on the South Shore. Nobody cares about the Pine Barrens. Somebody literally made a post and said the Pine Barrens. It's just a wasteland. So that's what they think of the whole middle of the island. It's just a wasteland to them. All right, to everybody. All right, and then you get to the Long Island's political landscape. We have a lot of people who are in love with Donald Trump here. All right. I think more so than perhaps anywhere else in the country at this point. Um, I see them in Belmore. Yes, the South Shore, where people openly support a racist, criminal president. They're racists over here. Unbelievable. All the time. Just being arrogant, honking. It's the man is a nut job. He's a racist. And for those who think, well, he represents the Republican Party. No, he does not represent the Republican Party. Some people may think he represents the Republican Party. But he's really far from an actual Republican. You think about it. All right? When he was president, he didn't do a damn thing to get the illegals out of here. He didn't do a damn thing to secure the border. The only thing he did was help the rich and hurt the environment. That's the only thing he did, and bring a culture of arrogance, greed, and racism to this country. Donald Trump is a cancer. More people should have seen that years ago. But the fact that people still don't see it now is absolutely disgusting. I mean, the man, he's gone after even people who fought for the country. But of course, the South Shore would love him because he's arrogant. They're arrogant people. And Long Island is arrogant, an arrogant place to live. So, of course, they're going to support Donald Trump. And of course, Channel 12 is all over that. We all know that. They're all over that with now the trial. I'm glad he's been indicted, but he's done way more serious things than this. And he needs to be going away for a long time, probably for the rest of his life in prison, because that's where he belongs. Let alone trying to incite an insurrection in this country. Don't even get me started on Donald Trump. Just because I hate Donald Trump doesn't mean I'm in love with Joe Biden. It doesn't mean I'm a liberal. It doesn't mean I'm a Democrat. All right? I'm an actually independent person. All right? There are good Republicans out there. There are good Democrats out there. There are few and far between, though. Most politicians suck. All right? Unfortunately, particularly here in New York, most politicians suck. All right. All right. You look at Donald Trump. All right. First of all, even Andrew Cuomo is trying to defend Trump now. All right. Which goes to show you, all right, Trump and Cuomo were once friends. All right. So for all you think, he's a pure Republican. He is not a pure Republican at all. Certainly not a conservative. All right. So these Trumpers need to knock it the hell off in Belmore, all right, wherever they are on the South Shore. And they get support because it's all part of the arrogance. And that's the thing, everybody wants to live on the South Shore, yet the South Shore has the most arrogant people I've ever freaking met. Let's talk about Long Beach. They're upset about a cable from a wind farm that they're building offshore.
So this is the article here. I'll put the link in the description below. Loud opposition to wind project from Long Beach. And it says here they proposed with that maintains control of a part of the beach in case the energy company is granted approval to construct an underground power line. Standing room only crowd at City Hall, many condemning the project, so they don't want clean wind energy. They don't want clean wind energy at all in Long Beach. All right. They're upset because of wires that will transmit energy from the wind turbines to land. So it just goes to show you the arrogance they have. We don't want to get radiated. There are power lines everywhere. I mean, really? I mean, seriously. But this is the way people are on the South Shore. They're very closed-minded.
Clean energy, all right? Wind energy they're building offshore. They are upset about a electric cable that is going to go through their town, saying it's going to be dangerous. It's going to bring cancer and all these other lies that these people are. They're so bigoted, so narrow-minded, so arrogant, but yet everybody wants to live there. And I have to choose between either dealing with arrogance, dealing with snobs, and them living it up, even as a bad thunderstorm comes in, they're just living it up.
Yeah, they're really living it up tonight. Look at this.
You saw in that thunderstorm video. Just living it up. Oblivious to the world, the problems around them. And that's Wall Street. Because that's what they represent. Wall Street. We've had layoffs. We have a war that's still going on in Ukraine. We have a planet in crisis. And that damn stock market keeps going up. They're in their own damn world down there. Oblivious to just everything around them. But everybody wants to be there. And it's not just white finance professionals that want to be on the South Shore. Everybody in New York is in love with the South Shore, especially on Long Island. They're in love with it. Everybody. Including, unfortunately, me too. All right? Because I have to pick between living in this depressing wasteland of Mineola with no life, businesses closing. Of course, there's no traffic coming. I could just walk right in the middle of the street. Here we are, middle of rush hour, or toward the end of it. Well, after 8 o'clock, and it's dead here. Homeless people, crime becoming a problem. And it's not just me, it's the whole middle of the island area, right? Or beyond the South Shore, where life would be so much easier for me because I have access to life. I have a train line that takes me to all the towns. It's made easier for people who are carless, all right? But yet, those are the exact people who can't afford to live there. How's that? That makes a lot of sense, right? Most of all, though, is the crime, all right? Because you're walking down a deserted street in Mineola, and it's completely deserted. There's nobody around. No, not a car, nobody. If somebody wanted to do something bad to you, they'd be able to get away with it, and you're just on your own. You have to defend yourself, all right? There's nobody around to help you. That's a scary feeling at night. And this is coming from a guy. I can't imagine a woman. Well, that's why I don't see any women walking alone in Mineola, particularly at night. All right. And then we get to all the burned out buildings. We had a terrible house fire. It got very little press. I don't know if anyone was injured. But that burned out building is still standing.
So here's this building that burned down, and this building here caught fire in January of 2022, I believe. Was it 2021? I don't know. We're gonna look at the street view and see. But this has been like this for a long time. This is the intersection of Second Street and Main Street. Just to show you here Here it is, right here. All right. So this is October 2022. Let's see more dates. Do we have November 20? So it was 2022, I believe. Yeah, 2022. That this happened, and you can see here. It's just they just left it like this. Just boarded up, and it smelled for a while. Now it doesn't smell as much. The burn smell goes away, but they just left it like this. What kind of town leaves burned out buildings just standing? Mineola. And then there's the other one on Jericho Turnpike. There's one over here as well. This one here. Here's another one. Same thing. This is was a restaurant with apartments on top, and this has been like this for a while. So this was on October 2022. I mean, what kind of town leaves stuff like this? They even demolished any of this. All right, go see more dates. Let's see. 2021. That's still burned out. All right, so this was as of 2021. I think it happened sometime in 2020. So that was the place that burned down. All right,
Mineola does not
they
burn
haven't
down
fixed
for
this at
them.
all. They just
They
leave
did
it.
knock down the
They
one
leave it to
on
decay.
Main Street. They didn't knock down the one on Jericho Turnpike. So they just don't do anything in this village. They just let this village just decay. All right, they don't care. People at Mineola don't care. All right, you go to other towns, they take care of stuff. Not here. I mean, it rains. We have huge puddles and lakes ever in the street, even if it rains just a little bit. I absolutely can't stand living in Mineola. All right, and I need to move out of here. But I have an agency now that doesn't even respond to my phone calls or emails. I don't even have the new rental agreement that I'm supposed to get in January. It is now April. I'm supposed to have sign a rental agreement. They haven't even got back. That's how bad things are in mental health. They are pushing us out. It's all part of the plan. Long Island is not a place for people with disabilities. We're being driven out. You have it's like, it's almost become like California in a way. Well, Long Island has become like California. All right. California has some beautiful areas, just like Long Island. But it's particularly along the coast that those beautiful areas are. And it's in the mountains. The coast is like the South Shore, and the mountains are like the North Shore. And the North Shore is still desirable. It's still a nice place to live. But the millennials don't want to live there because it's out of the way, and it's not as close to everything. But there's still a lot of older people with money who still live there and want to live there. It's still very expensive to live on the North Shore, right? But the middle of the island is like Compton. It's like the inner city. That's what the middle of the island has become. Um, I talked about the crime going on in another video. I mean, it's rampant here. People think it's safe. It's not safe. You walk around, you get the feeling you are not safe. All right. But so what does when my next birthday comes, it may not be on Long Island anymore. And I guess that leaves us to one of the most important things about Long Island, which is the Pine Barrens, which get absolutely no respect. Yesterday, I went to Pine Lawn, and a beautiful area that I loved in that place. The Pine Lawn is a memorial park, but they call it Pine Lawn Memorial Park and Arboretum. But I went to this beautiful area. Yes, they're burning incense again. I can't breathe in this place. I have neighbors that freaking burn incense in their apartment. I put a sign up last night, and they're still burning incense. I smell it. It's getting in here. It's from the apartment next door to me. I put the sign up. They're still doing it. I mean, I can't breathe that stuff in. It's going to make me sick. I got the fan on, but I don't have it on high enough. I'm going to have to. I can't breathe in this place. I can't stay here anymore. What was I talking about? No, the Pine Barrens, right. How could I forget the Pine Barrens? So, yeah, I went to Pine Lawn, and a beautiful area I saw that was knocked down. They knocked down a whole bunch of trees. And then you see all these other developments they have planned out east. Some of them are in progress. I mean, and then you have the southern pine beetles killing all the trees in so many areas. I see wherever I go, riding along the train or along the road, you see it, all right? Because Long Island has heavily suppressed fire, and we have a very unhealthy forest as a result. Um, when you go into New Jersey, where they actually take care of their pine barrens and cherish their pine barrens, you don't see that. Even the trees themselves, they look greener, they look healthier. Uh, so it seems that this road that we're on is a road that's going to take me to New Jersey. And it doesn't seem like there's much of anything I can do about it. I know, but I'm going to keep fighting and trying because that's what I do. Long Island is my home, and I try to stay here, even though these Wall Street people have pretty much taken over every damn thing. Um, you know, I still try to stay here. I still try. I know it's a losing battle. I know where I'm going to wind up, but I'm going to keep trying. Um, just like those pitch pines, I'm going to keep trying to stay here. I will not be driven out so easily, even if it means I will be driven out, because that is probably the eventuality. I'm going to keep fighting. Um, it's not right what's happening, and I have, even though I don't speak up about it as much as I used to, I'm still going to speak up about it occasionally. There are a lot of people that want to keep me silent, intimidate me to keep me silent. They know where I live. I mean, before the MTA committee meeting, because they want me speaking about the crappy thing about Mineola, the crappy situation with the Mineola train station. We have no place to sit. I actually had to sit on a ledge yesterday while I was waiting for the train because I was tired. I was tired. I did the walking I did the other day before. How can you not have seats? But this is Mineola. We have a waiting room that closes at 1:30, not even open on the weekends. All right? Nobody cares. The mayor doesn't care. Nobody gives a crap about Mineola. And I keep trying to give a crap about Mineola. I gotta just get the hell out of here. This town is going down. Right? Illegals are coming. They're here. I feel like I'm in Westbury all over again. All right? You know, the beat up cars, the drinking on the streets, the trash, all that stuff. You know, yeah, I'm still against illegal immigration. All right, you know, there's nothing good it brings. All right, I embrace immigration if it's done right and done legally. But if you're just coming into the country unchecked, just running across the border, you could be a criminal, you could be a sex offender, you know, you could be a gang member, or, you know, I mean, you don't know. And that's just the thing about it. I'm not saying they're all bad, but you don't know who you're getting. When you've done it, when you have legal immigration, you have a process in place to make sure these people aren't going to be a problem when they move into your community. But when you have illegals move in, they don't have no stand. They don't care. They throw trash everywhere. They live 20 to a home. And that's the same goddamn thing is happening in Mineola that happened in Westbury. I can't freaking believe it. But I see the signs. Beat up cars, the trash. And the gangs are probably going to be next. All right. All right. Don't say it has nothing to do with where they came from. All right. It has to do with their status. All right. But again, people will, you know, call me racist. All right. Because of that. You try dealing with what I dealt with all my life with these guys. All right. All right. You know, when I lived in Westbury. It hasn't reached the same severity yet of Westbury, but I see the signs. All right. All right. I see the signs. All right. And it's not fair because the very people who are suffer from the consequences of illegal immigration are usually people of color and immigrants themselves. The burden of illegal immigration is placed in their community. They're the ones that have to deal with it. All right, not not the whitest communities on Long Island. They don't move there. They just go put them in the middle of the island where all the diverse communities are. A lot of the ones that were led in by the governor. You know, I would have, all those people coming from, I would have just turned those buses away and say, no, we got to take care of our own first. No, can't do that. No. Sorry for the rant about the illegal immigration, but it's not about race. It's about how people behave when they move to a community. All right, if you're gonna throw trash everywhere, overcrowd a home, drive unlicensed vehicles, I mean, that doesn't show respect to the community. Not to mention blasting the music and all of this stuff. But look, I went on for too long about it. All right, it's nothing to do with skin color. Nothing to do with race. Just leave that crap out. Look at the behavior. Look at how these people behave. All right, we've plenty of white people that are gotten out of jail that are also in Mineola that cause problems. All right, so knock it off. All right. Look, you see what's going on around me. I see the way everything is just the decay around this town. It's just getting worse. So, it again leaves me, as we get toward the end of this video, where am I going to wind up? Because staying here is not an option. I think this place is making me sick. I've done some air quality readings at certain times, and they've been pretty bad. It's hot as hell here. I think it's just as hot as Tom's River, if not hotter. All right, you know, especially because of this alley here. All right, so yeah, Long Island's my home, but if it means having to live in a hood to stay here, then it's not worth it. But I deserve to live on the South Shore. I don't care what all these other people say, and I'm not done fighting trying to. Everybody wants to be on the South Shore. And like I said, it's not just white people, it's everybody. All right. So I read in that article. Everybody wants to be there. You go to Rockville Center on a Friday or Saturday night, you actually see all kinds of people there. You know? Everybody wants to be down there. Nobody wants to be in the middle of the island. This is like everybody knows about it, but nobody wants to talk about it. Well, yeah, we're approaching over 25 minutes, so I gotta stop here. I'm gonna put this video together today. So that's why I head to the South Shore every day, because I don't want to be around here. It's depressing. And I have to make a video about also the pharmacy hours getting cut at our CVS too, because a lot of the other CVSs and drugstores aren't cutting their pharmacy hours as severely as Mineola. It's just another sign, but I'll talk about that in another video. It's just everything around this whole area is just going down the tubes. Everything. All right? Everybody knows it. Nobody wants to do a damn thing about it. We all know why it's happening. They push the South Shore because, again, that is where the Wall Street people live. That is the enclave. The rest of us get treated like crap, especially in the middle of the island, because these are the most diverse areas. I just wish people would see what's going on and fight the corruption, but we all know they won't. We all know they won't. You can't change the course of the direction Long Island is heading in. There's going to be an area that's going to be winning, the South Shore. There's going to be an area that's losing. That's the middle of the island. Especially that part between Hicksville and New Hyde Park, Floral Park area. It is an area that's just going to be isolated, continue to be isolated like the North Shore, which is still a decent place to live, but it's isolated. They still have some crime issues there. It's not the safest place on Long Island is the South Shore. That is civilization. The rest of the island is no longer considered civilization anymore. It's forgotten. And I know there's not a darn thing I can do about it, even though I keep trying to talk about it, just because I want to bring awareness of it. But anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. And that'll be it for this month's mental health update and rant and all that other stuff. All right. I hope you all stay well. And I always wanted equality. Inequality bothers me. I think everybody should be treated the same. Every community should be treated the same with the same respect and get the same amenities and businesses. But, we just have a lot of inequality here on Long Island, and it continues to get worse. Uh, and, it's not fair. I wish it's not fair to the people that live in the middle of the island. It's not fair, especially to people of color. Everybody just, but what am I going to do? I have to take care of myself and try to put myself in a better situation for my mental health. And that means moving the hell out of here. So that's going to wrap it up. If you made it through the whole thing, thank you for watching so much. Take care.